How many of you legitimately watched Monday Night Raw tonight? I'm guaranteeing at least 90% of you did not watch Raw tonight. E3 was on. I know for my own sake, I muted the fucking TV when Final Fantasy VII was on the stage. The remake, by the way. I know for a fact I muted the fucking TV when Final Fantasy VII Remake hit the stage at E3 because I can't fucking wait. I can't wait. I stopped everything. I put everything down. I put Raw on mute. Nothing was happening anyway. And I watched Final Fantasy VII. It's great to see Cloud and that man right there in all their glory. March 3rd, 2020. Can't fucking wait. How many of you guys watched the NBA Finals tonight? That's a game that had great importance. I'm sure you guys are cheering for the Toronto Raptors. Maybe there's some Golden State Warrior fans in here. I don't really give a shit either way. But all I know is, at least when you're watching the NBA Finals, it has some importance behind it. I know for a fact I was flipping back and forth between the Braves and the Pirates as well, because I think the Braves tonight went into a first-place tie with the Philadelphia Phillies. Oh, poor Philadelphia. What happened, bro? What happened? People, 3 hours of Monday Night Raw meant absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing tonight. I really don't believe how anybody could watch this show and not feel the same way that I do right now. I don't understand how anybody could watch this show and not feel the same way that you probably feel about the current state of the product. I don't know how anyone in WWE could put on 3 hours of television and all 3 hours mean absolutely nothing. There was no significance. There was no importance behind anything that they did tonight. And the show included a fucking tag team title change. None of it meant anything. How could I get behind what WWE is trying to tell us on television when Seth Rollins is in the midst of a huge failure of a title reign? Baron Corbin's mega push on TV. Now apparently Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, for whatever reason tonight, were put in the main event with Baron Corbin. By the way, Baron Corbin got 4 segments tonight on Monday Night Raw. If that is your answer to what is going on, and if you think that's quality television, man, you got some fucking balls on you. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the main event tonight on Monday Night Raw with Seth Rollins, and then right back on Tuesday for SmackDown Live, and they're in the main event with The New Day, teaming with Dolph Ziggler. What importance does it have? I don't feel any investment in anything that's going on right now. One storyline on Raw, one storyline on SmackDown Live. They're all over the place. And the wild card rule, Vince McMahon thought that this was going to help the shows. I don't know what is important. I don't know where anyone should be. I don't know why we're getting all these storylines that are just all over the place that have no significance. I don't mind if people are in 1 or 2 different storylines at the same time, but I want them to have some sort of fucking meaning. Kevin Owens has nothing to do with Seth Rollins, so what I got out of that main event tonight was just 20 minutes that they needed to fill on TV with absolutely no meaning. What are they doing on SmackDown Live against The New Day? Kevin Owens has nothing to do with The New Day, or Kofi Kingston, or the WWE Championship. Same thing goes for Sami Zayn. They're just there to fill TV time. And I'm just there to watch this mindless television, and when I gotta sit here, I legitimately don't have a fucking care in the world. I don't. I was on my phone all night. I was on my iPad all night. E3, the finals, the Braves. WWE has lost everybody's attention. WWE is driving people away in record numbers. This was not a good show. It's never a good show. This show was absolutely mind-numbingly boring. Just like it is every fucking week. Because WWE is not presenting characters or storylines that make you want to watch or wait and watch for next week. Everything they're doing is simply going through the motions. Putting people on TV with no meaning behind it. Making pay-per-view matches that we've seen over and over and over again. Some of which don't make any sense whatsoever. The entire product right now is absolutely at the worst it has ever been, and there are people who still defend the WWE in defense of the WWE every single week. You try and find good on the show, and there is no good on the show. And if there is good on the show, it certainly isn't what's happening in the ring. It's usually the go-to. Bray Wyatt and the Firefly Funhouse. Whatever Cesaro and Ricochet are doing, right? Shane McMahon is on fucking television every single week. And you have the War Raiders, Kairi Sane and Asuka, Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black, Robert Roode, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Ember Moon, all off television. Yet you want to push Shane fucking McMahon on television and celebrate that he's the best in the world. I hope those boring chants resonated tonight. I know they didn't. I know they will never resonate with WWE. But this is the fucking state of the product. Look at all the talent that they have, and they're pushing a 51-year-old Shane McMahon that was blown up in the middle of the ring by simply cutting a terrible promo. What were you watching tonight? Certainly not Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, this is your review. Thank you guys so much for joining me here tonight. Follow me on social media, man, at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications. That's Twitter and Instagram on social media. Make sure you guys support the Patreon page, completely optional, and it's the only way to get exclusive content not available on YouTube. That's patreon.com/JD from NY206. Make sure you guys check out all the other videos that you might have missed this weekend with Off the Script. Jon Moxley sticks it to WWE, wins the IWGP United States Championship. That was part 2 of Off the Script. I also got part 1, where we talk about WWE Super Letdown in Saudi Arabia. Hour and a half plus of a review, and I hold absolutely no punches, folks. Thank you guys so much for the support. Almost 3,000 thumbs up and over 55,000 views on YouTube. And tomorrow we got an Off the Script extra coming. You can see the preview there. Goldberg and The Undertaker have some words. Backstage altercation after WWE Super Letdown. We'll talk about that tomorrow on an extra, so get ready for that. If you missed any of these videos, man, that you might have missed, it's in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of the screen. The podcast tonight is brought to you by The Ridge. Father's Day's coming up, and The Ridge makes a great gift for your father, man. Ridge.com/script. Code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off. You know, one of the more difficult things for me to do is go out and shop for a wallet. I'm not the type of guy that's going to go out and buy a designer wallet and spend all this types of money on something with some stupid brand name logo on it. I'm not that type of guy. I usually go into the mall. I walk into Hot Topic. Oh, this Legend of Zelda wallet looks cool. Oh, this Metallica wallet looks cool. Oh, this Super Mario wallet looks cool. I'm that type of guy because it's very indicative of me and my personality and my interests. Now, I want you guys to look in your wallet. Better yet, I want you to go out for an afternoon with your father, and I want you to take a very close look at his wallet, because I know I did the same thing. I know my dad did the same thing. Look in your wallet. What do you have in your wallet right now? What does your dad have in his wallet right now? Guarantee you have old receipts for when you took the wife out for dinner 3 months ago for your anniversary. Guarantee you got old hotel room keys in your wallet. Guarantee you got business cards and contact numbers on some small piece of paper that you don't even remember who they are or where you were when you exchanged this information. You're looking at your dad and you're thinking to yourself, I got to get my dad a new wallet for Father's Day. I present to you, right here on Off the Script, the Ridge Wallet. It was actually created by a father and son team. There's the Father's Day correlation. A father and son team who value reliability in their everyday gear. They're making everyday goods that turn the things that you carry, like backpacks, chargers, wallets, into tools for better living. The flagship product of the Ridge is indeed the Ridge Wallet. It was launched on a Kickstarter in 2013 and now sits in the front pockets of 750,000 men and women, including myself. And I want you guys to think about your fathers on this coming Father's Day. Over 30,000 five-star reviews, and it's more than likely what your dad will love this Father's Day. When he thinks of Father's Day and the gifts that he's gotten, he's going to remember that you got him the Ridge Wallets. If he doesn't like it, 45 days you have to return the wallet if he does not like the product. The Ridge Wallet was actually started by Daniel Kane and his dad, Paul, proof that the utility of the minimalist wallet can span generations. Now, I want you guys to look closely at the screen that you see right here on Off the Script. You guys can save 10% off today with worldwide free shipping by going to ridge.com/scripts. Once again, that's ridge.com/script. Use the code SCRIPT. Link is down in the description below. There's a lifetime warranty. If your dad does not love it, again, free returns in case he doesn't. It comes in titanium, carbon fiber, aluminum, and over a dozen different styles and colors. I got the titanium because I love it and it feels fantastic. Once again, guys, free worldwide shipping this Father's Day, 10% off, ridge.com/script. Monday Night Raw opened tonight with WWE's version of Mike Trout, Seth Rollins, wielding a steel chair. The same steel chair that he brutalized Brock Lesnar with at WWE Super Letdown in Jeddah on Friday afternoon. Rollins comes down with the steel chair. He's in the ring, still with his ribs bandaged from the attack. Says he feels alive tonight, mentioning San Jose. I wish I felt alive. I felt like I was fucking half dead watching this show out of sheer boredom. Says he feels alive today. And by the way, I'm sorry for my voice. Saturday's House of Glory show was out of this fucking world. Blew my voice doing commentary with Mr. Shapiro. Hopefully I'll be back to my normal voice, and I'll be a lot better come Fridays Off the Script. So bear with me, please. Not like I was fucking cheering and jumping off my couch because this show was so exciting. Says he feels alive today. It's a new era for the Universal title. It's 2019, and it's the year of choice. It's the year of choice, folks. What was your choice tonight? E3 or Monday Night Raw? The choice is up to you, and I'm sure you chose not Raw. So the locker room can try to take it from him, and they have three choices. He says they can come out here and try to out-wrestle him. You could try it. I'd love to see some actual fucking wrestling on this show. Seems to be a fucking rarity nowadays. He laughed and said there's not one person on the planet who could lace his boots. Really now? I tend to think differently, Mr. Rollins. Or they could try to fight him for it. Or they could try it the hard way. He looked down at the chair and says they should ask Brock Lesnar how that worked out. Brock Lesnar has his own demons to live with because Brock Lesnar is the biggest schmuck, or at least WWE booked him to look that way, Brock Lesnar is the biggest schmuck in all of pro wrestling. After Friday's super letdown, how does he feel about not cashing in on Seth Rollins on the previous Monday? Otherwise, we'd be looking at the new Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar, and not the new fucking idiot, Brock Lesnar. So, Seth said Lesnar has been in WWE since 2002, and he's been raping Vince McMahon for all he can in the last 7 years. He didn't say that. That's just me adding on top of what Seth Rollins had stated tonight. And no one has ever done to Brock what he did to Brock on Friday at Super Showdown. Really now. So I'm guessing that whatever Bill Goldberg did to Brock Lesnar when Goldberg came out of retirement to take the Universal Championship and defend it against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, I guess that really didn't count. I guess that didn't matter in the landscape of Seth Rollins' WWE universe. How fucking stupid can you be? This is what you have Seth Rollins go out there and say. No one has done what Rollins did on Friday to Brock Lesnar since 2002? Come on, man. Now, I understand WWE might not want to relive history, or they might look down upon history, but when you have your talent go out there and say stupid shit like that, ignoring the past completely, you look like a bunch of fucking idiots. Either that, or the people that they have writing this shit aren't really knowledgeable in what happened in the past, and whose fault is that? That's Vince McMahon for hiring people who don't know anything about the WWE. Out comes Baron Corbin, and collectively, around the world, remotes were being picked up, and they were being changed to the NBA Finals, or E3, whichever you guys decided to watch tonight. Corbin's music hit, out comes Corbin, he's smiling, being booed out of the building, and this is not booing because he's a good heel. The fuck has Baron Corbin done as far as a heel goes for them to be booing him out of the building? They were booing him because they don't want to see him on this show. They don't want to see him for this segment challenging Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. This has nothing to do with the amount of heat Baron Corbin is getting as a heel. This is the amount of heat that Baron Corbin is getting because nobody fucking cares about Baron Corbin. Corbin said the feeling is mutual as he's being rained on with boos. He waited for the booing to stop and he played up to the fans, saying, "I could wait here all night." Please don't. Please don't. So he continues on and says, "Seth, you should stop being so focused on Lesnar because after Stomping Ground, I will be champion." Stomping Ground, huh? Stomping Ground. The only thing that WWE is stomping into the ground is the fucking ratings on Monday night. Seth said how things went for him at Super Showdown. How could you say anything like that? You came up in a losing effort. So what makes you think you're going to take the championship from me at Stomping Ground? Corbin said Seth didn't beat him. John Cone, the referee, which, by the way, made Baron Corbin look like a fucking idiot as well. He could join Brock Lesnar sitting on the idiot bench. John Cone, the referee, cost him the match, and Seth escaped with the title. Corbin says he's not only getting a rematch, and because of his amazing negotiating skills, he's getting to handpick an official that will be the special guest referee. So, Seth said, well, I'll stomp your head into the mat, and I will retain my Universal Championship. Seth can't imagine who would let Baron Corbin handpick a referee because nobody likes him, or who would be his hand-appointed referee because nobody likes him. He has no friends, and even his dog doesn't like him. So Sami Zayn comes out. I have no idea what Sami Zayn has anything to do with Seth Rollins or Baron Corbin, but here he is. To legitimate crickets, Sami Zayn comes out. He smiled. Sami said he cares about Seth, unlike the fans, and he can see being Universal Champion is actually bad for Seth Rollins. He said Lesnar does something to Seth, and then Seth does something to Lesnar. He said it's a swirl of toxic masculinity, and they're both trying to protect their fragile egos. Sami said it would be better for Seth if Corbin was the Universal Champion, because they'd finally have a champion who's not obsessed with Brock Lesnar. So Sami Zayn actually wants to make this show worse, is what he's trying to tell us all. Seth said there must be something in it for him if he's volunteering to help Corbin. Sami said at least Corbin understands how this whole toxic cesspool works. So he's pretty much explaining that Raw is a toxic cesspool, and none of it works as far as I'm concerned. He says because he understands if he helped him out, then Corbin would return the favor. Seth said, a shred of truth. Seth then congratulated Corbin for finding the one idiot in the room who has your back. He asked Sami who is going to have his back when he goes up there and slaps the taste out of his mouth, and out comes Kevin Owens. Owens comes to the stage and he agrees with Sami when Sami says that Corbin would be a better Universal Champion than he would be. He said, Seth, I don't like the way you're talking to Sami. Seth told KO to come to the ring and do something about it. KO says, since he's the wild card, and then he adds, whatever the hell that means. Exactly. Whatever the hell that means, because clearly we don't know, and Kevin Owens clearly doesn't know what the wild card rule even means either. Maybe I'll take you up on that offer and do something about that. Seth asked how San Jose felt about that. They cheered like a bunch of fucking casuals. Seth offered to face KO in the main event. Cole said he hopes that WWE officials are watching and makes this happen. Seth walked up the ramp to KO. Corbin and Sami stared them down on the stage before they went to commercial. And that's the way Monday Night Raw opened. Did it have any meaning whatsoever, folks? So what we got out of this open was a Baron Corbin and Seth Rollins main event for Stomping Ground. Do you give a shit? I don't. And I know you don't either. We got supporting players in Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens that really have no business being there. They legitimately were put there with 2 weeks left to go in this build. And they have nothing to do with Seth Rollins as a whole. I'm going to say it right here. I don't mind Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was always my favorite of the three Shield guys. But man, his title reign coming out of WrestleMania, WWE is doing Seth Rollins no favors whatsoever. This has been the most dismal title reign that anyone could have imagined for Seth Rollins. Nothing. Out of all the talent that they have on this show, and with this wild card rule in effect, Seth Rollins and his first opponent is fucking Baron Corbin for the Universal Championship. Never mind Brock Lesnar. Fucking Baron Corbin. I mean, I would have gladly taken another AJ Styles match with Seth Rollins. But WWE wants to play up this storyline with AJ Styles that he's got a back injury, and we are giving Baron Corbin in the main event of Stomping Ground for the Universal Championship. Just imagine that. Baron Corbin is the number one contender for the Universal Championship, and this is your main event for Stomping Ground. If that doesn't tell you that creative is at rock bottom, I don't know what the fuck does. I don't get this mega push. I don't really understand Baron Corbin's status in this company. But man, can you get any more boring than what we got here? Legitimately no significance whatsoever with any of this. And I just don't care. Lars Sullivan versus the Lucha House Party. It's Kalisto, Granma, Talik, and Lince Dorado. Because I love this match so much at Super Letdown, I couldn't wait for this match to happen again on Monday night. Now, the reason why this is taking place tonight is because that match ended in a disqualification. So instead of doing what WWE should have done on Friday night, and the decision was, and should have been, Lars Sullivan destroying all of the Lucha House Party and moving on to something else, WWE wanted to do this again on Monday night. This one ended in 4 minutes, and Lars Sullivan completely destroyed all of the Lucha House Party like that. He caught Kalisto in midair and gave him a freak accident. That was it. This was an elimination match, by the way. Freak accident to Kalisto, catching him in midair. Lindsay entered, and Lars threw him aside. He tried to fight back, but to no avail. When Lindsay went for a Hurricane Rana, Lars turned it into a running powerbomb for a 3 count. He tossed him out of the ring. Grand Metalik came in. He slapped Lars on the chest with a knife-edge chop. Lars just stood there. Lars slammed him and yelled out loud, and he gave him a freak accident. 2 count, and he picked up Lindsay off the mat. Not done with him yet. So he's going to have some fun with Grand Metalik now. Lars lifted and slammed Kalisto on the outside. He left Metalik in the ring. He went outside to grab Kalisto. He lifted him up in a bench press, and on the steel steps, there were the piñatas. He took Kalisto and slammed him, power slammed him, or body slammed him in a gorilla press on top of the piñatas, on top of the steel steps. I gotta admit, that was a sick fucking bump. That looked nasty. So, Kalisto, gone. Dead. He's not in this match anymore. So he goes back into the ring, and he gives Metalik another freak accident. He lifted him up again at a 2 count when the match was academic and was already over. Lars then goes on the opposite end of the ring and sees Lince Dorado moving. So he takes Lince Dorado and throws him headfirst into the steel post. Then he climbed the top rope and he landed a huge diving headbutt on top of Metalik, and that was it. Lars wins. He eliminated all 3 members of the Lucha House Party. He screams out loud, "Who's the man?" as he destroyed the house party in 4 minutes. Now, the only reason I could see why this match happened here, and we didn't get this on Friday when it should have realistically happened on Friday, is I want to say WWE wanted this to be in front of a bigger audience. Not in attendance, but on television. They wanted this to be done on Monday Night Raw in front of a wider audience for Lars Sullivan. Because they know that not many people were going to watch this Super Showdown, whether you just weren't interested in the Super Showdown or you were not going to watch it out of protest. Whatever the case may be, that's the only reason I could possibly think of, because this decision tonight should have realistically been done on Friday, and Lars Sullivan should have moved on to somebody else. 2 other things I want to mention here. 1, Lars Sullivan is playing a great role as someone who could be very believable. The headbutt off the top rope, the slam to Kalisto on the outside, just him decimating the Lucha House Party. It's very believable. And I think Lars Sullivan has, honestly, a great upside. He could be that monster that WWE and Vince McMahon want him to be. I just don't think anybody gives a shit about him, for whatever reason. And partially, that's WWE's fault, because they waited too long, and they've gone and done nothing with Lars Sullivan up until now. He's finally in the ring competing now after 4 months, probably longer than that. And I just don't think people give a shit. You waited too long, and people were over it. At the time you wanted to finally give us Lars Sullivan, people were over it. Number 2, I don't know why WWE changed his entrance from NXT. Maybe they didn't watch NXT. I'm assuming that's the reason. Because I don't know how you could come up with Lars Sullivan entrance in NXT and make it look so fucking simple and so epic at the same time. And really, the entrance in NXT portrayed him to be even more of a monster. The silhouette and the blacked out arena with the spotlight and his shadow just shining through the spotlight. That was fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. On Monday Night Raw, he comes out with absolutely nothing. He's just Lars Sullivan in red tights. I don't know why they changed that. And I'm assuming that the people on Raw didn't really see what NXT did for Lars Sullivan as far as his entrance goes. I don't know why they got rid of it, and I wish they bring it back, because I think it's cool, and I really think it adds that level of monster to Lars Sullivan that right now could possibly be missing. That's just me. It's the simple things, the small things that I watch for and I care about. That was great, and WWE sends him out there in the most boring way possible. So we got R-Truth backstage. He is being chased. He's with Carmella. They were being chased in the back and they ran into a bunch of elevators. And the elevator doors opened and a bunch of wrestlers entered the elevator with Truth. They yelled for a ref. The doors closed and several more wrestlers come. I guess they were done with catering and Titus was like, come back in 45 minutes, I'll have a beautifully baked cheesecake coming out of the oven. You better get here quick, because Dana Brooke is already first in line. It'll be gone before you know it. So they chased R-Truth and Carmella into the elevator, and there were a bunch of wrestlers on the outside who didn't get into the elevator, and there were a bunch of wrestlers in the elevator, and the elevator stopped working, and they were all trapped in the elevator with R-Truth. Heath Slater, EC3, Drake Maverick, Cedric Alexander, R-Truth himself, and Carmella. All trapped in the elevator. Now, my buddy Jesse pinpointed that why would they be stuck in the elevator for so long when elevators, or the majority of elevators in 2019, have emergency telephones built in? You have an emergency telephone in the elevator when something like this happens, which is a rarity, but in case of an emergency, you always have an emergency telephone. I guess they didn't really realize that. And what is with EC3's red cup? Is he more concerned about drinking his Hawaiian punch than anything else? That's the most important thing that he's got going on for him right now. He needs to stay hydrated because he is not on TV and he's got nothing else better to do, so he might as well indulge in whatever Titus is offering up as far as beverage goes. Jesus Christ, man. I seen an online petition to get EC3 on wrestling Twitter, to get EC3 back on television in a meaningful role. Just one of many talents not being used and being completely wasted away on Monday Night Raw. Guarantee you when that man's contract is up, he's gone. I also seen someone make a video on EC3 on wrestling Twitter where they did his entrance on Raw, current day, to the entrance that he did in NXT. And the difference, the sheer difference in excitement and body language on this man was fucking unreal. He looked to be so happy in NXT, and on Monday Night Raw, it looks like he legitimately wants to put a gun to his head. Awful. Absolutely awful, man. The downfall of EC3. All you gotta do is find it on Twitter. You will know what I mean. So, we go on here from that to Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans. Sit-down interview with Michael Cole. So, I don't understand what's going on here with Lacey Evans, but I need to bring this to your attention because of all the Lacey Evans stands out there that just are quick to bat an eyelash and just overlook all the logic that should be here, but is conveniently missing from WWE television. So WWE has promoted Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship at Stomping Ground. Lacey Evans. I don't know why Lacey Evans, because Lacey Evans hasn't won a match since Money in the Bank. She lost at Money in the Bank. She lost her championship match against Becky Lynch. And she hasn't won a match since. Before tonight. She got the pinfall tonight on Bayley, which I will talk about in a second. But outside of tonight, she has not won a single match. They announced this match on Friday at Super Showdown. She had not won one single match. So I'd love to know how Lacey Evans is in a championship match when she hasn't won a match. I don't know. WWE refuses to build up any other women on the roster, and they do two things here. They make a mockery of the division by giving someone a championship match who hasn't won a match, and number two, the rematch clause. Apparently, the rematch clause is still in effect when Shane McMahon and the McMahon family said that that antiquated stipulation is no more. So WWE is clearly in the wrong here, not once, but twice with Lacey Evans. I don't get it. So, if you're smarter than I am, I'd love for you to reason with me as to why Lacey Evans is getting a fucking title shot when she's won 0 matches. Dwell on that one, social media cretin. So Michael Cole was conducting a sit-down interview. You know, you normally see these sit-down interviews happen when WWE wants to keep talent away from each other before their big championship match. What does WWE do? They present this sit-down to keep both of these women away from each other, and then they proceed to book them in a tag team match later on in the evening, kind of ruining the entire match. Not that I gave a shit about the match anyway, but WWE doing things ass backwards as always. They appeared on a split screen. Cole tried to throw Becky Lynch the question first, whatever the fuck he wanted to ask her. I think at this point I had the TV muted, so I had to go back and watch, because I was watching E3. I mean, Square Enix was on stage. Why the fuck not? So Lacey took exception and said, where she comes from, ladies go first. You get it? Because Lacey Evans is a lady and Becky Lynch is the man. Agenda bullshit. She said if chivalry is dead in WWE, then let Becky go first. Becky should go first. She's the fucking champion. Becky said Lacey already tapped out to her, and for all her talking, she never brings that up. Neither does WWE, because they want you to forget. Just like how they want you to forget that Lacey Evans hasn't won a fucking match, or the fact that she's getting a rematch when the rematch clauses should not exist. They tend to overlook several things here, Miss Lynch. Becky said Lacey is stronger and bigger than her, and fresh out of the gate. Green, but fresh out of the gate. Lacey said she's done exactly what she needed to get what she wants, just as Becky has. She said she won't stop until she has everything she wants. Oh, really now? Not gonna be that difficult, Miss Evans. I'm sure you know what you have to do to get everything you want. Just ask Alexa Bliss. She said she won't stop until she has everything she wants. Becky said dirty and gold are found in the same place, but that doesn't make them equal. Or dirt and gold are found in the same place. I'm sorry, typo. Dirt and gold are found in the same place, but that doesn't make them equal. Becky said the fact that she cost her the SmackDown Live Championship still upsets her. She said being the champ is her obsession, and now she's got to overcome Lacey. She said being relentless is her obsession. Lacey mocked her and cheered her speech, but she said Becky isn't fooling her. She said the man bravado is just a mask because she's actually fearful of losing it all and sinking back down into obscurity. Vince McMahon should be worried that Monday Night Raw is sinking back down into obscurity. It's been there for a very long time. Never mind Becky Lynch. She said she reeks of fear. Lacey Evans says to Becky. She reeks of fear and it smells nasty. She said at Stomping Grounds, that fear will become a reality when Becky 2 belts becomes Becky no belts, because she will take her Raw Women's Championship. Lacey said she's done with her and she will see her tonight. That was pretty much it. Becky Lynch went on and yap. I'm going to break your arm. Why don't you come over here and show me what you're made of? Keep yapping over there. I'm going to break your leg, or whatever the fuck Becky Lynch was saying. Whatever. I am not interested in any of this, and none of this makes any sense. None of it makes any sense. Seriously. Look at the fucking shit that we got at Stomping. I keep wanting to call it Battleground. Stomping Ground. Look at what we got at Stomping Ground. We got Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. That's been done. It hasn't been done in a while, but it's being done. And out of all the matches that we got, is the freshest of the matchups. Lacey Evans versus Becky Lynch, Money in the Bank rematch. Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin, Super Letdown rematch. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, WrestleMania rematch. Out of all the talent that they have on this show, WWE is booking matches for Stomping Ground that are nothing more than rematches that we had absolutely no interest in to begin with. Unreal. And they want to know why people aren't watching the fucking show. Awful. What is awful is WWE's treatment of Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross looks like a fucking loser. She looks like a loser. She sounds like a loser. What did you do to my Nikki Cross from NXT? They tried to humanize her. Now she looks and sounds ridiculous. Nikki Cross is with Alexa Bliss. She asks Alexa, why aren't they teaming together tonight against the Iconics? Alexa said that was the plan last week, but then she won the right to face Bayley at Stomping Ground. So now it's a champions versus challengers type match, meaning that it's Alexa and Lacey versus Becky and Bayley, which really doesn't bode well for the champions because they shouldn't be losing. Somebody has to lose. Somebody has to lose here. I'll get to that in a second. So, she apologized. She said she can't believe Bayley is doing this again. Nikki asked, what is Bayley doing? Bliss said Bayley is a manipulator. Really? Bayley is a manipulator. I'm assuming that's the other way around and she just got mixed up. Alexa Bliss is the manipulator, but not to Bayley, but to the WWE creative guys. She's a manipulator. She's another one who always gets what she wants. She said she knows the real Bayley. She said Bayley was awful to her when they started together in NXT. She said because of their different backgrounds, Bayley made her feel unworthy. She said people are starting to see through her. Maybe that's why I'm this way now, said Alexa Bliss. Nikki asked what she meant. Bliss says she feels that she can't be herself around anybody else but Nikki. She said she could be herself around Nikki. Nikki said she knows what that's like and what it's like to feel like that. She knows what it feels to be on the outside looking in. Bliss asked if Nikki forgives her and will be in her corner tonight. Nikki smiled and said, of course, Alexa, I'll be in your corner. And then they put their arms around each other and giggled. What did you do to my Nikki Cross? Where's the Nikki Cross that brought Asuka to an inch of a loss on NXT television in a last woman standing match? Where is that Nikki Cross? And why do we have her fucking hugging Alexa Bliss, of all people, on Monday Night Raw? It's amazing how WWE has all these characters that we once cared about, and legitimately, the way that they're portrayed on Monday Night Raw, our investment in them is no longer there. Unreal. Add Nikki Cross to that list. The Miz has Samoa Joe on Miz TV. We keep rolling along here, man. Nothing of interest on this show. The Miz introduced Samoa Joe. Cole called him a very dangerous man. How could he be a dangerous man? Samoa Joe is a dangerous man, but every time he's on TV, he loses. So how dangerous can he really be? Did he have a successful title defense outside of beating Rey Mysterio in 90 seconds? How dangerous can Samoa Joe be? So, The Miz has Samoa Joe on Miz TV. He said that he is the new United States champion. Samoa Joe cut him off. Said there's nothing new about my reign. Rey Mysterio, he gave up the title and he gave it right back to its original owner. There's nothing new about my reign. I was always the United States champion. Rey Mysterio beat him in an unfair fashion. So Miz threw the Titantron and the crowd to a video clip. And he showed Rey Mysterio putting the title on the ring mat and Samoa Joe giving him a coquina clutch. So Miz obviously was throwing shade here at Samoa Joe. So Miz went on to say that Rey was honest, heartfelt, and a gentleman. Yet Joe needed to slap the coquina clutch on Rey Mysterio. Must be a new move that Samoa Joe came up with. He's got the coquina clutch and now the coquina clutch. Maybe we should give Miz the memo about Samoa Joe, because clearly he doesn't know about Samoa Joe's finishing move. So Joe said, yeah, so? Miz thanked him for that in-depth answer when Miz said Joe crossed the line by bringing Rey Mysterio's son Dominic into the picture. You know, you shouldn't cross lines like that unless you want to get called out. Joe said Miz needs to understand that those lines belong to him, but when it comes to getting what he wants, there is no such thing. I take things the way I want. I'm not going too far, says Samoa Joe. He said he thought he was coming out here to discuss potential challenges for the United States Championship. Joe said if he wants to talk about crossing lines some more, maybe we should discuss the Miz's family. I wish Samoa Joe really did go on in the Miz's family. I would have loved to seen him just berate the Miz's family. It's always fun to see Samoa Joe put down someone's family. So, after that, we got Braun Strowman coming out. We got Bobby Lashley coming out. We got Ricochet coming out. And we got Cesaro coming out. All of their theme music's playing back to back to back to back. I hate segments like this. Strowman comes out. Lashley comes out, says he's not done with Braun yet. He says he and Joe have history together. And he deserves a shot at the United States title. For what? I don't know. Ricochet comes out. He says they're always arguing about who's bigger and who's stronger. And obviously that's not me. And he has 2 wins over Cesaro. And he wants to step up and win his first championship on the main roster. Cesaro walked out wearing new ring gear. And he didn't say anything. He just popped Ricochet right in the jaw with a microphone. And then obviously this leads to a very uneventful 6-man tag. What creativity on Monday Night Raw, folks. What creativity. I hate segments like this. I really do. You got something in The Miz with Samoa Joe, and then Strowman's music hits. Bobby Lashley's music hits. Then we got Ricochet's music hitting. Then we got Cesaro's music going off. You don't need everybody's theme music playing like that. It sounds fucking ridiculous. I wish they would just come out there with microphones to state their case, and that is it. Why do we even have Braun Strowman in the United States Championship picture? What sense does that make? Who did he beat to even get in line for a United States Championship match? Bobby Lashley. He lost. Who was he to say that he deserves any shot at the United States Championship? As far as I'm concerned, the only one who really deserves a championship match here is Ricochet, because he's beaten Cesaro twice. I wish wins and losses would matter. In fact, I would not be that upset whatsoever if they threw Cesaro into the mix, making it a triple threat. Joe, Cesaro, and Ricochet for the United States Championship. And have that be a program over several weeks on Monday Night Raw. Ricochet and Cesaro have been the best thing on Monday Night Raw for several weeks now. You add Samoa Joe into that and make it a triple threat match for the title, you might have a match of the year candidate right there, folks, but this is WWE. They will not do what we want or what makes sense. Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, and they gotta fucking make it boring in some way. They gotta WWE it up. I wish it was just about the people who matter here, and that's Ricochet and Cesaro. And it can't be, because WWE has to include now The Miz and these 2 other fucking buffoons. So we get a very uneventful 6-man tag. This really didn't do anything for me. 14 minutes. Ricochet, Braun, and The Miz win. Cesaro, obviously, here, he looked hurt. I don't know what happened here, but obviously, whatever happened between Cesaro and Ricochet was the best part of this match. Cesaro went for a neutralizer. Miz escaped, gave him a skull-crushing finale. Ricochet then landed a 630 right on Cesaro's knees. I don't know if that was intentional. It certainly looked to be Ricochet out of position, and Cesaro looked to be really hurt. I hope he's not. I haven't heard anything, but if that was supposed to be planned, and that was the planned spot with that angle, Cesaro really played that shit off well, man. So Cesaro grabbed his knee in pain. Cesaro held his knee, rolled to the floor. Ricochet looked on concerned as Cesaro couldn't stand. Maybe it was something that was not planned. I don't remember Ricochet ever being that reckless with a 630, but we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully he's not too hurt, because Cesaro and Ricochet honestly have been two of the best things on Monday Night Raw on a show that really has nothing going for it. They showed the 630 in slow motion where Ricochet landed on Cesaro, and that was it. That was it. Ricochet wins with the 630. Ricochet, Braun, and The Miz win in 14 minutes. It was also a nice spot, and I gotta give props, even though I don't really do so with these two guys. And I know they did kind of something similar at the Super Showdown, but I really didn't give a shit. There was a situation with Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley where they were doing leapfrogs, and they were just kind of going back and forth. A lot of agility, a lot of speed. They were kind of countering each other. Leapfrogs and, Irish whips and whatever. It looked really good. Braun Strowman did a kip up. It looked really impressive. And another spot in this match, this is the second time that I seen Braun Strowman have trouble lifting Samoa Joe up in a power slam, but he eventually got him up this time. The last time I seen him do it, he didn't get it done. That was when they were supposed to be feuding, a while back. But he got him up this time, and that looked really impressive. Joe is no small man whatsoever. That's 300 pounds right there, and that is a big fucking boy. Braun Strowman got him up. He muscled him up, and that looked pretty fucking impressive, I gotta say. But this match did nothing for me. Half of these guys don't even belong in the title picture, and all I want to see is Ricochet, Cesaro against Joe. That's it. You put those three guys in a match at Stomping Ground, match of the night. Easy. Moving on here, man. Bayley and Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans and Alexa Bliss. This one went 11 minutes. And Lacey Evans and Alexa Bliss beat the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions. Why are your champions losing on television? I don't give a fuck how they lose, who the champion is. No one should be losing. And I'm even going to throw the Iconics in there, even though I can't fucking stand them, and they are god-awful. The Iconics should not even be losing on television. Why? I just don't get it. WWE does the same thing over and over and over again. This type of match could have been avoided. You could have put anybody in this match against Alexa Bliss and Lacey Evans. Yet you want to put Becky and Bayley. Why are they on TV competing in meaningless matches when they're the champions? They don't need to be on TV 2 weeks before the show unless it's some sort of promo package or promo segment talking about their challenger. Why are they wrestling? You don't need your champions to wrestle 2 weeks before a meaningless pay-per-view, taking losses in a meaningless tag team match. Someone please fill me in on to why this is happening. Lacey Evans and Alexa Bliss win. At the end of this thing, Nikki Cross got between Alexa, I believe it was either Alexa or Lacey. I don't even remember. I was watching the fucking E3 press conference with Square. It might have been Lacey Evans. So, Nikki gets between Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch. And that gave Lacey an opening to give Becky a woman's right. Bayley rolled up Bliss in the ring. Bliss kicked out. And then Lacey hit her women's right from the outside because Bayley was hanging over the middle rope to the outside in one of the most awkward spots. It's like Bayley was just hanging there waiting for Lacey Evans to punch her with this women's right. She eventually did. Bliss then dragged Bayley into place, and she went for Twisted Bliss, but unbeknownst to the fucking referee, Lacey Evans made the tag, and Lacey comes in, and she hits the women's right on Bayley. And that was it. So Lacey Evans pins the SmackDown Live Women's Champion, and the match is over. So she nailed not only a woman's right on Becky, but she pins Bayley with the women's right. I don't know why. I don't know why any of your champions are losing 2 weeks before the fucking pay-per-view. Now, I understand Lacey Evans needed a fucking win, but maybe you should have booked this a little bit better to give Lacey Evans a win in another way. I still don't know why Alexa Bliss is getting a fucking title shot against the SmackDown champion when she's a Raw superstar. I don't know why Lacey Evans is getting a fucking title shot when she hasn't won a match outside tonight. What are we doing here? Legitimately, nothing in this division makes any sense whatsoever. None of it. And I have to say, Lacey Evans as green as grass. She is as green as my fucking dad's lawn on a beautiful summer day. This woman has the worst, I think, in the division right now. The worst timing issue. She's Peyton Royce Billy Kay bad. Her timing is completely off. She is almost all the time in a major spot out of position. Yet this woman's getting a fucking title shot. Get a WWE, continue to push your blonde agenda. Lacey Evans deserves nothing. Alexa Bliss deserves nothing. Why are they teaming? Wow, what a fucking coincidence. Two women who deserve jack shit at a pay-per-view in 2 weeks. Awesome. Sammy was backstage. Shane McMahon was with him. He yelled best in the world. He tried to do his best Mike Rome or Greg Hamilton impersonation. He said they always have been, kind of distant with one another. They haven't always seen eye to eye. But Corbin suggested he talk with him. He said he knows Corbin gets to choose his own referee, and Sammy said maybe tonight he could be the guest referee for the match between KO and Rollins. Shane says that sounds like an audition. And Sami Zayn's like, yes, exactly. It sounds like an audition. I want to audition for the referee spot. So Shane then just repeated what Sami Zayn said, and he made it official. Sami called it a genius move and said he's hell of a decision maker, and that was it. Shane McMahon is on a roll with his decision making as of late, which is absolutely killing both Raw and SmackDown. Great, folks. What excitement here on Monday night. Paul Heyman's in the ring. I didn't even expect a Paul Heyman appearance, but we got one anyway. Heyman introduced himself. He said he was disturbed by the animosity between his client Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. He said Lesnar didn't cash in last week, even though he wanted to. He said Lesnar felt he could deliver a beating to Seth anytime. He scolded the fans for cheering Seth for attacking Heyman with the chair and Lesnar with the chair. He said Rollins is a reckless thug. He said Lesnar now will not tell fans when he's there and when he's not from now on. So it's just like a regular fucking week for Brock Lesnar. I don't know what he's telling us that we don't already know. He's not going to tell the fans when he's there or when he's not there. How is that different from any other week for Brock Lesnar? In fact, how is that any different from the fucking Money in the Bank rules? Brock Lesnar could do this and get away with it because he's Mr. Money in the Bank. You don't have to tell the champion when you're there or when you're not there. As if Paul Heyman's thinking this is some sort of new rule. How stupid do these guys look on television? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't know what I'm watching here. How is this any different from a normal Brock Lesnar fucking week? He could show up anytime. The Money in the Bank has been around for how long? How many people before Brock Lesnar have done this same exact thing? He said that's not to insinuate he'll be at Stomping Ground or that he won't be at Stomping Ground. Maybe he will. Maybe he will be. In fact, I hope he is. Just to get this fucking ridiculous storyline over with. He said he will apply a beating that violates the PG era of WWE. He said Lesnar taking the title from Seth isn't an insinuation. It's not a prediction. It's not even a spoiler. It's a threat, a promise, and a guarantee. What did he say here? That is new information. Nothing. Again, even Paul Heyman on this show and his appearance and his promo meant absolutely nothing. What did he say that is new to you? Ridiculous. We see the elevator cam of R-Truth, Carmella, EC3, Heath Slater, Cedric Alexander. Poor Cedric. Cedric actually you know what? I don't know if you're paying attention to Cedric Alexander's Twitter, but he actually tweeted, I wish I was back on 205 Live. Legitimately, that is exactly what he said. Awful. When you're wishing to be back on 205 Live, you know things are fucking bad. And Drake Maverick. They're yelling at each other. And apparently, Carmella said they'd fill time by playing a game. And you can only talk if someone has her hat. So Drake snatched the hat and says he's getting married in a couple of weeks. EC3 asked why he wasn't invited. Probably for the same reasons that you're not on fucking Monday Night Raw. Nobody likes you. Drake said, "You are invited. You're legitimately my best man." Truth then took the hat and said he's scared he's going to lose his 48/7 TV European title. I understand you guys are loving R-Truth in this role. I think R-Truth is the perfect guy for this role. This shit should not be on television. Yet people are watching this. Oh my God, this is the best part of the show. This should be on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, and it should be reserved for those platforms only. It has no business being on the actual TV show. None. And I swear to God, come October, I hope that it's not. I seriously hope that it's not. The Iconics, the Moronics, the Idiotics. I got up to use the fucking bathroom. I didn't give a shit about this match. The Iconics versus Lisa Lace and Aaliyah Naya. I don't know where the fuck they found these two. One of them looked like she just rolled out of bed and was wearing pajamas. The other one looked like she was a fucking maitre d' at some Mexican restaurant. Where the fuck they find these clowns from? The Iconics win in over 1 minute. Just about 1 minute. They went on to say that they were the longest reigning women's tag team champions of all time. I still to this day don't understand how you took the titles off of Bayley and Sasha at WrestleMania for this. This bottle cap is worth more than the women's tag team titles. You might as well burn them and get rid of them altogether. Where's Kairi Sane and Asuka? Weren't they being groomed by Paige as the next big thing in the women's tag team division? The Kabuki Warriors? Or was that another fucking failed gimmick and failed idea by WWE creative? What happened to those women? How is Asuka off of television for 5 weeks now? Why bring Kairi Sane up to pair her with Asuka and waste her away like this and pull her from NXT? I don't understand this shit. Yet Shane McMahon's on fucking television every single week, Raw and SmackDown. Yet Baron Corbin had 4 segments on this show tonight. Fucking awful. Drew McIntyre came out and he was followed by Shane. Before we get into what they said, because I know you can't fucking wait. I know you can't wait for Shane McMahon's segment on Monday Night Raw. I can't wait to tell you guys about Audible. Like what I did there. I know. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys use our unique link here for the podcast. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. Go through the sign-up process. You guys are going to get 30 days free of Audible service and 1 free audiobook of your choice. Best thing is, when you sign up, you're not going to be billed, and you guys can cancel at any time in that 30-day grace period. You can cancel on day 1, you can cancel on day 30. But the best part is, you're not going to be billed, you can cancel any time, and you get to keep your audiobook for free. Over 200,000 choices to choose from, a lot of which are wrestling related. Just like you see there. Shawn Michaels, Jim Ross, Chris Jericho, Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar, so on and so forth. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. Great way to support the podcast and get a free audiobook as a thank you from Audible. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/offthescript. Drew McIntyre had his music playing. He was out there with bagpipe players leading him to the ring. Shane McMahon was in the middle of the ring with a big table. On top of the table, seeing the Best in the World trophy. They had champagne on ice. Big deal here for the Best in the World. We are still celebrating Shane McMahon being the best in the world. Now, we had this shit happen at Crown Jewel, and we're still on this Best in the World shit. I don't understand it. I don't know how anyone looks at this and finds any excitement. Yet we got Shane McMahon on TV, and we got Hanson and Rowe of the War Raiders off of TV. It's now 4 weeks. Gotta be 5. I think it's 5 weeks. 5 weeks that they're off TV now. Where the fuck are they? Why did you pull them up from NXT? Kairi Sane and Asuka, not on TV, about a month now. Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black, Cedric Alexander, not on TV. He's in a fucking elevator trapped with EC3 and Drake Maverick. Robert Roode changed his fucking look to be on TV. He shaved the mustache. Now he's not on TV. I don't understand. Rusev Nakamura. Should I go on? Liv Morgan. Sarah Logan. Unreal. Ember Moon. But Shane McMahon is on fucking television every single week. And I guarantee you we will see Shane McMahon on SmackDown again in another 3 segments. I don't know how this does not piss anybody off. I don't know how anyone in this company is okay with fucking Shane McMahon, 51 years old, every single week in a major program with Roman Reigns, taking TV time away from people who should legitimately be built up to have a regular spot on TV. Fucking pathetic. Now you know why people aren't watching. People in the crowd in San Jose were legitimately chanting within minutes, "This is boring." Yet you still continue to put Shane McMahon on television. Shane's in the ring. He listed Reigns' accomplishments, such as headlining WrestleManias, winning several world titles. Please don't remind me. He has wins over both The Undertaker and Lesnar, but he hasn't defeated him yet. He said Reigns just wasn't good enough to beat the best in the world. Shane asked the fans to give it up for Drew too. Crowd booed. Shane thanked him for helping him prepare and said that their strategy was sound after watching so much footage. Fans began chanting boring. Shane then says, "Get used to it. It's my celebration. I got all night." Don't test the McMahons, people. Please. Drew said he's trying to maintain his composure and wished the celebration was anywhere but San Jose because they show no respect. He said they won't ruin this celebration. He said Reigns is the measuring stick in WWE, and when he loses, it turns heads. I don't know who's watching this and doesn't have a fucking problem with that line right there. Reigns is the measuring stick, huh? So Reigns is a measuring stick above Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is your universal champion. He's the champion of the universe. Reigns is the measuring stick, more so than the WWE champion. Is that what you're telling me? That is absolutely fucking absurd to even say such a thing. Yes, continue to push your Roman agenda, even in the shittiest fucking storyline that you have on TV. That is fucking pathetic. That line was even uttered in this promo. I don't know how anyone could listen to that and overlook that and not have a problem with that. Reigns is the measuring stick. When he loses, it turns heads. When he loses, I actually clap. Because that's what he should be doing. Putting others over. Not Shane McMahon, though. People like Drew McIntyre. Says he intends to just not beat Reigns at Stomping Ground, said McIntyre. He plans to hurt, maim, and humiliate him. I am humiliated by watching this fucking show. I'm humiliated knowing that my friends know I watch this show. Said Shane McMahon is the best in the world, but he's the most dangerous. Now we're getting into comedic. Now we're getting into the comedic portion of the fucking promo. Shane McMahon is the most dangerous? Or Drew McIntyre is the most dangerous? Where? I don't understand this shit. You by association, look like a fucking clown. Shane McMahon's the most dangerous. Are you fucking out of your mind? He told Reigns he owes him, and he will physically assault him until he is completely unrecognizable, and then he will beat him. 1, 2, 3. Shane says he's so intense, and that's what I dig about you, man. He says it's time to drink some bubbly and celebrate. He opened bottles of champagne and poured them into plastic glasses. He then poured the champagne into the Best in the World trophy. If you're going to do it right. Shane drank from his trophy as Drew drank from the bottle. And out comes the Revival. Shane says, please welcome your new WWE, or soon-to-be new WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, the Revival. Cole said they should be happy that they have this friendship with Shane. He said they lost to the Usos on the Super Showdown kickoff show. Oh, so now wins and losses matter to you. The Usos beat the Revival on the Super Showdown pre-show. Or was WWE quick to fix an error that they made earlier in the day? Because they booked the Revival in a match with the missing Raw Tag Team Champions. And they figured, well, we have to explain this come Monday Night Raw because it wasn't explained on Twitter. So then they added the Usos to kind of even things out because they knew that they fucked up by adding the Revival, who lost. And then they just covered it up with the excuse of, oh, well, Shane McMahon put them in that match because he's buddy-buddy with the Revival. Give me a fucking break. So, Cole went on to say that they lost to the Usos at the Super Showdown kickoff show, as if that fucking matters to anybody. Now all of a sudden it matters. Yet they were given a title shot by Shane. So, Drew stopped them from drinking the champagne. Both Dash and Dawson wanted to sip the champagne. Shane was like, you can't drink before your title match. And if you want to party with us, you have to bring a little gold to the after party. So, the Revival liked that idea. Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre kept drinking, and this was fucking awful. This was awful. So, clearly this led into the tag team title match, which, by the way, WWE was quick with the footage. How pathetic is it that you're the Raw Tag Team Champions? You are the Raw Tag Team Champions, and the only footage that WWE has of you on June... What's today's date? On June 10th is you winning the titles back at WrestleMania that happened on April 7th. That's the only footage that WWE has of Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. How sad. How sad. They've been off TV since April, and now we are in June. Unreal. Unreal. So we got this no disqualification triple threat match. The Revival win in 9 minutes to recapture the Raw Tag Team titles. No DQ. No DQ in this match. I'd love for someone to fill me in on the rules of a triple threat, no DQ tag team title match. You had guys in this match standing on the fucking apron in a no DQ match waiting for a tag. You could do whatever the fuck you want. It's a no DQ. You can come in whenever you want. You can interrupt whenever you want. You could take a steel chair and beat fucking someone to bloody hell with it. And you're standing on the apron waiting for a fucking tag when no DQ means this realistically should have been a Texas Tornado match. But I guess WWE just didn't give a shit about the rules here. Or maybe all the teams in this match are that fucking stupid. I'd love someone to explain to me a no DQ match. Triple threat. Revival win in 9 minutes. They capture the Raw Tag Team titles. And that was it. That was it. Why did they get the Raw Tag Team titles back? I wonder why. I wonder why. WWE wants to make good with the Revival now. This is exactly what we talked about on Off the Script. WWE gave the Revival the Tag Team Championships to make good. We're going to fix the tag team division for you. We're going to give you more competition. We're going to build a division around you. Then they had the titles, and the Revival were wishing that they never had the titles because they were being booked just as poorly as champions, and they went nowhere. So the WWE took the Revival and put them in a WrestleMania match with Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, a match that was made 6 days before WrestleMania. They lost the tag team championships. They were embarrassed on weekly television with Uzi Hot and some fucking childish hijinks with the Usos filming Dash Wilder shaving Scott Dawson's back. All this childish bullshit. Then all of a sudden, now the WWE wants to get serious with the revival. I wonder why. How long is this gonna last? Can we get some legit fucking competition outside of the Usos? Firefly Funhouse, we seen Bray. Bray was nailing something to a door. I don't know what the fuck it was. And it was a sign, apparently. A sign that said, "Abandon all hope, ye who exit here." So then we had Rambling Rabbit fending off Mercy the Buzzard from eating him. Mercy the Buzzard wanted to eat Rambling Rabbit. So he said he doesn't feel safe in the Funhouse, and it might be time to expose what really happens in the Funhouse. So Rambling Rabbit was given his own segment. It was like an MTV fucking reality show. He was sitting in front of a camera, and the camera was on him, and Rambling Rabbit was like, now that I'm by myself, I think it's time to expose what happens or what really happens here in the Funhouse. So Bray came in and started yelling at Rambling Rabbit. Well, not yelling, but he was talking down to Rambling Rabbit. Bray reached down and grabbed Rambling Rabbit by his neck. And he said, "Why would you do something like that?" Bray then smashed the rabbit with a giant toy hammer. So again, Rambling Rabbit was kind of killed off here on the Firefly Funhouse. So he was wearing, Bray was a red clown nose, and he had this really evil like paint or makeup going down his eyes, like he looked like an evil clown. He reached down and asked if Rambling Rabbit was okay, and Rambling Rabbit was shown with a huge sever right across his tummy, right across his stomach, and you could see that there was red substance coming out of him that was supposed to be blood. So Bray takes Rambling Rabbit, he puts his finger over the cut, and he tastes Rambling Rabbit's blood. And he said it's delicious. He said, "Today's episode is brought to you by Rambling Rabbit's Bohemian Spread." Then he closed with about leading the way and let him in. And that was pretty much it. This one, I don't really know how to decipher what happened here. I mean, last week was a little bit more self-explanatory. They did the whole Muscle Man thing, Muscle Man workout, and Huskus was there, Huskus the pig, and it was pretty much a story of, I'm sure, Bray early in his career, and the story was being told through these puppets. Huskus the pig was fat, he was overweight. Husky Harris was Huskus the pig, right? That's who the character Huskus was based off of, Husky Harris. And Husky Harris was fat and overweight, he wasn't in shape. And I'm assuming that WWE management and Vince McMahon, who appeared on the Firefly Funhouse last week, told Bray Windham to get in shape. And that they wouldn't do anything with him if he looked like he did with Husky Harris. So it was Bray kind of working through all of that and working out and getting in shape. And now he looks like he looks now. That was a little self-explanatory. We understood what happened last week. This, watching it twice. Now, I watched it live and I watched it on YouTube. I can't decipher what happened here. So if you guys kind of can decipher what's going on here with the Firefly Funhouse, I would be interested to know. I might just be completely out of it to a point where I don't want to know right now. I don't know. But him killing Rambling Rabbit tonight, a little brutal. Not that I minded it, but you know, I'm kind of getting impatient. Like I've been mentioning in the last couple weeks, I'm kind of getting impatient here. I want to see this guy live on television. I want to see him on Raw. I don't mind these Firefly Funhouse segments. I think they're great. They're definitely the most interesting parts of the show. But I want to see him physically in the arena, in the ring. And I am very curious to know what WWE is going to do as far as the debut goes for Bray Wyatt. I don't trust them at all. So, hopefully, things are going to continue on the path that they're going now when he finally makes his live TV debut with this new gimmick. But if Vince McMahon has any track record, like we know him to have, this will be ruined within weeks. I don't trust them at all. So maybe it's best he stays in the Firefly Funhouse and away from Monday Night Raw. Because in the Firefly Funhouse, he's safe. He can do whatever he wants. On Raw, forget about it. They'll be looking to kill him before he even gets on the fucking show. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, main event, didn't really mean anything. I didn't really find myself invested in what they were doing because I knew it meant nothing. It meant nothing. Owens wins by DQ because, of course, Sami Zayn is outside. He's the special guest referee on the outside. And this went nowhere. It went nowhere. So KO rolled up Seth from behind for a 2 count. Seth then dove through the ropes onto KO at ringside. But Sami Zayn was out there trying to check on Kevin Owens. Because why not? So Rollins dives through the ropes. He takes out Owens with the suicide dive. He intentionally hit Sami Zayn. Seth landed the stomp. He made the cover. And as John Cone, the referee, who coincidentally was the same referee in Rollins' Corbin match with the Universal title on the line at Super Letdown, John Cone was the same referee. John Cone went for the pin after the stomp, and Sami pulled John Cone out. Fans were chanting, "Sami sucks." John Cone and Sami Zayn got into an argument. John Cone's like, "I'm the referee in the ring, you're the referee on the outside." So Seth stood in the ring. He was upset at Sami. Sami pointed his finger at him and scolded Seth Rollins. Seth grabbed Sami by the shirt, and Sami ended up DQing Seth Rollins. So we have another champion losing on Monday Night Raw due to stupidity. Even though it was a DQ, Seth Rollins still lost. So KO raised his arm while laying at ringside. Seth punched Sami because the match was over, so you might as well get your shots in. He started to pound away on Sami Zayn, and Corbin comes out. He brought a steel chair with him. Seth knocked it out of his hands. Corbin bailed. Seth jabbed at Sami with the chair. Seth was bleeding above his eye. I don't know what happened or where it happened. I wish I was paying more attention. I just didn't give a shit. But Seth Rollins was bleeding. He bashed Sami across the back with the steel chair, yelling at Corbin. He turned and bashed Sami again several more times and then threw the steel chair out of the ring. Sami rolled to the floor, and Graves then said Seth Rollins is a man possessed. Michael Cole was saying, "Have you ever seen Seth Rollins this fired up?" Seth yanked Sami's shirt off, threw him back into the ring. He called out to Corbin to come into the ring. Corbin stood on stage like the coward he is, and he observed Seth destroying Sami Zayn. Seth gave Sami the stomp, and that was pretty much it. There you go, folks. There you go. The 4th segment for Baron Corbin tonight in a very meaningless, lifeless, uneventful main event that proved nothing. No importance whatsoever on this show. That's the whole theme of this show. The whole show was just one unimportant thing after the other. I physically felt ill. I felt like Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley. I felt ill before this show went on, knowing that I wasn't feeling well to begin with, and I have to sit here for 3 hours, and none of it means anything. One of my best friends, Pete, he texted me right before I went live. He asked me, "How was Raw?" I said, "I want to gouge my eyes out." And he's like, "That's nothing new. I didn't even bother watching. Raw sucks." I said, "You missed nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. I probably won't watch anymore. I enjoy New Japan. I'll stick with that. Super Showdown was a waste of time. When Vince McMahon goes, I'll watch again." Exact words. And this is a guy who I've known since freshman year of fucking high school, who was so into wrestling. People like that, WWE is just disillusioned. People like that, WWE are driving away. Yet people are still trying to find positives in this show. People are praising the 24/7 bullshit. This show is absolutely mind-numbingly boring. It is so fucking bad. I honestly thought that they could not get worse than 2018 creatively. Man, WWE proved me wrong tenfold. in 2019. And the sad thing is, SmackDown is no better. Because of the wild card rule, SmackDown is actually becoming just like Raw. They are just as bad as Monday Night Raw, and we have to do it all over again tomorrow for another 2 hours. Awful. Which did you watch? Did you watch Raw? Did you watch E3? Did you watch the NBA Finals? Or did you just not give a shit about anything on TV tonight? All I know is, Monday Night Raw, I hope they fucking tank in the ratings with everything that went on. I want to see people then use everything that happened around Raw as a fucking excuse and sweep all the bullshit that we seen on tonight's show that meant nothing under the rug. Shame on you. Fucking shame on you. I'm getting out of here, man. Hopefully, I'll be back tomorrow with an OTS Extra. I got a lot of news that I did not go over, and I didn't go over it because of my voice, which is shot. Hopefully, it feels better. I'm going to have some nice green tea. Hopefully, tonight it'll feel better. But if you guys missed anything that I uploaded previously, please go and check it out, man. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of content, even though I missed Sunday's episode. We got part 1, part 2, and then Off the Script Extra tomorrow. We'll go over all the remaining news for the week, man. Super Showdown, and then we talk about Jon Moxley defeating Juice Robinson for the IWGP United States Championship. And at some point tomorrow, I want to watch the Dominion show. I am dying to see Will Ospreay versus Dragon Lee. And I want to see what Jericho did with Okada. And I want to see that fucking Ibushi match that everybody is talking about, where Ibushi almost broke his fucking neck. I want to see all that, man. I might talk about that stuff on Friday's episode of Off the Script. Thank you guys so very much for joining me, man. Again, please check out these videos. If you missed them, link is in the annotation above. Make sure you guys check out Audible, audibletrial.com/offthescript. Follow me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram. You guys know the deal. Hit that subscribe button down below. Patreon.com/JD206. And don't forget the Ridge. Ridge.com/script. Father's Day's coming up, man. Get your father something nice this Father's Day. The Ridge. Ridge.com/script. Code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off. Again, guys, hit that thumbs up, and I will see you right back here for SmackDown Live. Unfortunately, SmackDown Live. Tomorrow night, I'll be here to cover the show. Don't miss it. I'll see you guys then. Have a good night. Off the Script Extra tomorrow. I'll see you guys then.